Welcome to Legit News JA, where we give you trending news as soon as it breaks, each day and every day. Please remember to like and subscribe. Your support goes a very long way. With that being said, let's get into the news, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back to Legit News JA. You don't know what thing says the next day, so it's the next piece of news, right? Yeah guys. Today is the news about the Ukraine-Russia war situation. But before we get into that, please remember to like and subscribe. The support goes a long way. So if you can, please do, alright? It's much appreciated. Okay? But let's get into it. Right? So guys, today, like I said, it's about the war we're going about in Russia and Ukraine. I would expect everybody done knowledgeable about the situation already because it's been going on for such a while now. And everybody's going to get affected by it. And we already are affected by it. But just not as much as other countries, thankfully. But as it rages on, we're going to feel, it more and more. So, I would imagine everyone knows about the war already, or it has started. And the pretext behind the war, reason behind the war, right? Russia essentially wanting to not necessarily extend its borders, but extend its influence, right? Yeah. But that's not today's video, right? Today's video is what Russia did this morning that could be considered a war crime if it actually happened, right? Now, I'm sure most of you will know what a war crime is. It's something that seen by other countries have done during a war is almost, punishable, I suppose you could say. And if a country does a war crime, then, other countries might sanction them, or cut off their resources, stuff like that, because war crimes are seen as something that are extremely heinous to do, even in a war situation. And what Russia did today might have been something of a workaround, right? Let me explain. So everyone knows about the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown that happened in Russia decades ago. Essentially, there was a malfunction in the cooling system that kept the reactor safe. And because of the malfunction of that cooling system, the Chernobyl reactor became unstable, and its radioactivity peaked, and now the area around that place is still super radioactive decades later and will still remain radioactive for decades to come, right? Essentially ruining that area for a very long time. The people who were there got radioactive poisoning. Most of them just died a couple days after. It was a seriously bad situation, right? One of the worst in modern history, right? So I'm sure you guys know about that. If not, that's a simple explanation of what happened. No, everyone knows about the war that has been going along the border, right? What Russia did today was to try to recreate something of that nature, of the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown nature. Why? Because yes, sir, them literally try bomb up the nuclear reactor. Yes, people, them think they serious. I think I don't really understand how serious that really is. They bombed a building situated right beside the reactor, right? More so the reactor than it. But the fire And of course the explosion spread to the reactor. And for a good while there was concern that this would have caused the reactor to fail, and then you would have a Chernobyl incident that happened in Ukraine. And if that happened, well, that would essentially cripple the whole country. It would have crippled the entire country, especially that region. But it, not only the country, actually, it would have crippled Europe, right? Because then, with that happening, Ukraine could no longer really help itself, and then that would just be it for Ukraine, and Russia would just move in, right? That's the length these people are willing to go to ensure that they win this war. And people sit down and think like, oh well, they didn't bomb the nuclear reactor. That's not what they wanted. No, obviously they wanted that. Them just don't want to say bomb it directly and be like, we did that. We didn't do it exactly, right? Now we didn't, send nuclear bombs in Ukraine. The only thing we did was accidentally blow up a reactor, right? Basically scorching the lands for decades to come. That's the kind of thing this Putin youth ready for do. To show how evil this man really is. So, luckily though, like I said, that never really happened. The nuclear reactor in Ukraine, in the city in Kiev, is very stable, I'm told. And it's a lot safer than the one that, was in Chernobyl decades ago. So, even though it did catch fire for some time, right, it still remained stable during and after the fire, to the point where everyone was safe and there was no real concerns that the nuclear reactor would fail and then you'd have an explosion. No, it was fine. But if, of course, the bombing continues near the nuclear reactor, eventually it will go, right? And the Ukraine officials are hoping that Europe will have to step in so that, there's no longer any bombings at the reactor. Because if the reactor does go, that does almost essentially spells the end for Ukraine. And, well, all of the European efforts thus far. But yeah, like I said, guys, it's a very serious situation. This Putin youth non-stop and nothing to win this war. Honestly, non-stop and nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if him to use chemical warfare next directly, because the money just don't care. Anyways, you know what? With that being said, guys, that will be it for today's video. Yeah, it's a very sad situation, but I'm glad the nuclear reactor did not blow up. Alright? But yeah, that'll be it for today's video, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. The support goes a long way, so if you can, please do. Alright, this is much appreciated. Alright, I thank you guys for all the support so far, and I'll see you later. Peace.